Old Jungle Stiverin says, go Pete, number 74. Pete Forsyth, who, let's have a look on our timing screens here. Of course, he was 15th on there, 16th on the grid. Green flag goes up. And Pit Bike Vets is go. They charge into the first corner. Oh, it's close in that first corner. But John Robinson holds on as they go up the hill. And what a fantastic sight as they charge up the hill. 26 riders on the grid, and they all get through the first corner safely, though one rider is stuck on the grid but gets away at the back. And down the hill they come. John Robinson, number 2, is your race leader. Mark Evans shadowing in second place, but very, very close. We'll confirm this in a few moments when they come through. But a great start there for John Robinson. Martin Tapper, number 36, gets a bit of support from Kev Barnes as they go through Devil's Elbow for the first time, and it's close at the front as number 2, your race leader John Robinson, goes charging through right on his tail, number 161 Mark Evans. So John Robinson leads from Mark Evans, Leslie Noble in 3rd place, Simon Gates in 4th, Richard Wright, Richard Barnes, Barry Prue moves up to 7th place. Julian Gromit in 8th place with Steve Allen. And Chris Blofield, number 79, rounding up the top 10 as the leaders make their way down towards Carousel for the second time, with John Robinson leading the way, but coming under a lot of pressure now from Mark Evans in 2nd place. So this Pit Bike Vets race is very much worth the wait as they come down towards Devil's Elbow for the second time. This one is very much on a knife edge, you would say, because number 1 on your timing screen, John Robinson, leads the way, but coming under a lot of pressure now from Mark Evans in 2nd place. 0.2 of a second separate the top 2, with Leslie Noble, Richard Rice and Simon Gates on the tail for 3rd. Robinson into the top corner he goes. He getting some support here from Kieran Ablett, says, come on John Robinson. And Robinson's got a lot of work to do there, because Mark Evans really keeping the pressure on. Oh, as Richard Rice and Leslie Noble really battling away through Carousel. Here's your race leader, number 1, John Robinson, into the top corner, heading through the S's and heading down towards Devil's Elbow. And this a part of the track which would really catch out the unwary. It's very slow and very off camber, and a really spectacular sight as they come around the final corner as number 2, John Robinson, leads the way, but Mark Evans, number 161, is right on his tail now. The other number 2 in the race, Richard Rice, in 3rd position, just 1.1 seconds down, and this one's getting close indeed. They charge through the top corner. John Robinson still leads into the top corner, guards that inside line, and closing up in 3rd place is Richard Rice. They come down the hill. Look out for that 3rd place man with the black helmet, number 2 on the bike. Richard Rice was 0.7 of a second down in 3rd. Oh, but Mark Evans makes a small mistake. Oh, we've got trouble in the midfield. At the coming down out of Carousel, 2 riders go down. We're trying to identify who they are. Looks like both riders okay. Number 172. Oh, that was one of our front runners. Simon Gates is out of the race. Trying to get back restarted. Another rider down. Both riders are okay. DRC Leathers in 2nd. Of course, Mark Evans in 2nd place. They're making their way up the hill. Oh, this is getting close now, because it looks like Richard Rice has gone down the inside. Yes, he has. Richard Rice goes into 2nd place, and now trying to challenge John Robinson. So Mark Evans, who... Oh, but Richard Rice has a problem going down into Carousel. Really dropped off the pace. I'm looking out of the window now. Well, he's picked up the pace again. You can see on the screen. So I don't know what happened there. Matthew Wilkinson here says golden oldies, and that's always the way with vets racing. It's fast, it's furious, it's spectacular, and usually quite fair as well. So the race leader, after that very tense lap, John Robinson leads the way by 0.4 of a second from Mark Evans in 2nd place. I've just seen Richard Rice. He has gone through in 2nd place, with Richard Barnes, Barry Prue, Julian Gromit making out the top 6. Just running through some of the rest of the field. Steve Allen, number 38, in 7th place. From Chris Blowfield in 9th. Anthony Baxter, Howard Taylor, Darren Savage in 11th place. With Simon Woodward and a really close midfield battle. Gary McQueen, Neil Turner. We just see them now coming through the first corner. This is the battle for 13th position. You can see fast, furious action all the way through the field. They're at the top of the field now, but John Robinson, number 1, continues to lead the way, although he's coming under some pressure. They've just gone past the finish line now, and here we see the battle for the lead. John Robinson leads as Mark Evans has a glance over the shoulder and really starts to put John Robinson under some pressure. Battles all the way through the top 10. Robinson nips down the inside. Oh, but the back marker bulks Mark Evans in 2nd place. Evans gets through, but that's allowed Robinson to pull away as they make their way down towards Carousel. John Robinson leads, but let's see if Mark Evans can fight back. And yes, indeed, Jonathan, it's very cool indeed. And a great battle at the front here because Mark Evans is starting to close up on John Robinson. Once again, we saw Evans was bulked by a back marker just then. That's allowed Robinson to pull away. Let's have a look at the timing screen when they go through. Let's see what the advantage was. It was 0.4 of a second. And Mark Evans is back on the tail now. They've got a back marker. Oh, and Mark Evans out of nowhere sees the advantage. Oh, but Robinson shuts the door. We'll see them coming through the curbside camera now into the top corner. The leaders now making their way down towards Carousel with John Robinson, number 1, leading the way. Mark Evans now right on his tail. The back marker moves to one side to let them through. And we can see just ahead of us now this whole gaggle of riders towards the back of the field. They're having their own midfield scrap. And this could get tasty when the leaders close up. Number 1, John Robinson, leads the way from Mark Evans, 161 in 2nd place. And yes, indeed, Ashley, they are all amazing riders. This is a fantastic race. We cut to our front 2 riders making their way up the hill. John Robinson has led pretty much the entire race, but Mark Evans has fought back and now really starting to pressurise John Robinson, the race leader. They come back down the hill towards Carousel. Back marker in front, and hopefully should see them coming. Yes, he does. So lets the 2 leaders through. They go through Carousel up towards the S's. John Robinson, Mark Evans. Now in the closing stage of the race. Richard Rice, incidentally, the rider who dropped off the pace in 3rd. Fastest lap of the race, 51.820. The leaders go through Devil's Elbow up towards the final corner. Back markers are in front. And this is now the last lap of the race. Sophie Davis says, come on, Evans. And time is running out for Mark Evans in 2nd place. He's really putting the pressure on John Robinson. But can he make it count as they go up to the top of the hill? Oh, he has a look down the inside there, but Robinson's got the line covered. At the top of the hill, they're coming down towards Carousel, and there you can see at the bottom of the screen, those back markers. This could have a part to play in the last half lap of the race. The leaders have just gone through Carousel. Evans tries the outside of Robinson. Here they go. The leaders now coming into Carousel. This is going to get close. They're threading their way through the tail enders. Robinson holds on just. Oh, they almost touch handlebars. But Robinson holds on. Into the final corner they go. It's going to be a close one to the finish line. But John Robinson holds on just about from Mark Evans. Hardly anything in that one there. And what a fantastic race between those 2 riders. Richard Rice comes through in 3rd place. And it's going to be Richard Barnes, number 8 in 4th place, from Barry Prue. Julian Gromit in 6th position. And that has definitely been the race of the day. Pit Bike Vets. It never fails to live up to expectations, Pit Bike Vets. And once again, what a fantastic race there. now on track. We have the pit bike vets, last few riders taking their place on the grid. We're just looking at the starter now for the green flag. And they're happy, so the green flag goes up. Race is about to start, and pit bike vets is underway. Grabbing the start there, Mark Evans, as they charge into the first corner. Very, very close indeed. There's a bit of banging and buffing there, but they all get round safely with Mark Evans, 161, your early race leader from John Robinson, Simon Gates and Richard Rice, all amongst the front runners. Into the top corner they go. So Mark Evans with a jump on the field. They come back down the hill towards Carousel for the first time. And you can see 25 riders out there in the mini bikes. Yellow flags go up in the Carousel. Somebody drops it in the midfield there. Trying to see who that rider is, but he's okay. And we'll join another rider caught up in the melee. None of this, of course, bothering the lead, who goes through Devil's Elbow for the first time up towards the final corner. And leading the way on the first lap, grabbing the lead, is John Robinson. Richard Rice in second place. Mark Evans in third from Simon Gates and Julian Gromit, all very close up the mountain. But John Robinson, your early race leader. Richard Rice in second. And they're closing up on the braking as they make their way down towards Carousel. So Robinson still your race leaders. There we see the fallen rider on the first lap. I think that was Leslie Noble that went down on the first lap, pushing his bike away. And Noble out of the race, but he's okay. That's the main thing, of course. John Robinson leads the pack into Devil's Elbow on the second lap with Richard Rice on his tail. The gap 1 second last time round. Here they come up towards the final corner. So Robinson leads the way up the mountain. Rice in second. We just saw there the machine of Leslie Noble, but that was from the first lap. That's not another incident. Very, very close battle in the midfield here, though. Julian Gromit, Gary McQueen, Howard Taylor, Chris Blofield, Anthony Baxter, Darren Savage, all very, very close indeed in the top 10, with Richard Barnes in there as well. And the leaders battling away down towards Carousel. It's getting close at the front, though, as they make their way towards Devil's Elbow. John Robinson leads the way coming into Devil's Elbow, but it's getting close between the top four. They go through Devil's Elbow up towards the final corner now. And we'll cut back to them. Here we are on the final corner. We can see that John Robinson still leads the way, but Richard Rice on his tail in second place. Mark Evans and Simon Gates. These four riders making a break now up the hill. And it's all very, very close indeed between the top four. Fifth place rider is Julian Gromit, all on his own. And then the battle for sixth. They're just crossing the line now. And we'll cut to them going up the mountain in a moment. It's all very, very close indeed. The top four coming down towards Carousel. John Robinson and Richard Rice having a great fight there for the lead. And here we see the battle for fifth at the top of the mountain. This is between Howard Taylor, number 717. With Chris Blofield in there, number 79. Richard Barnes, number 8. Darren Savage, Gary McQueen rounding out the top 10. Anthony Baxter. All very, very close at this battle for fourth place. Or sixth, I should say, because the top four coming around the first corner, the final corner now, still with John Robinson leading the way. Robinson leads. Richard Rice now has taken the lead, actually. Richard Rice, your new race leader. John Robinson in second place. They're going up the hill now. Mark Evans and Simon Gates third and fourth. We've got a rider out of the race on the left of the track there, but Richard Rice leads the pack at the top of the field. They come down the hill now towards Carousel. And Richard Rice, your race leader. John Robinson second. Mark Evans still third. Simon Gates in fourth. They go out of Carousel up towards the S's. We've got waved yellows at the top of the track. I think that's the stricken rider. I think that was Mark Hancock, possibly, but nothing to bother the running of the race particularly. The leaders now come around the final corner, and Richard Rice holds on to the lead from John Robinson. Mark Evans still in third place. Simon Gates in fourth. They go up the mountain, and he could almost throw a blanket over the top four. They are that close. Still in fifth place, Julian Gromit just crossing the line now, all on his own in fifth place. Richard Barnes now clear in sixth place. That battle for sixth place starting to settle down somewhat. And this is where the action is now coming into Carousel. The battle for the top four. Richard Rice holds on to the lead from John Robinson. And Rice starts to close up on the tail end. And so this could play a part in the race. Oh, we just saw there John Robinson bulked slightly by the back marker. They're coming down towards Devil's Elbow with Richard Rice leading the way. And of course, back markers do have a part to play in these races, and they're not obliged to get out of the way, of course. It's good sportsmanship to move to one side to let the leaders through, but they are in their own race. As we see Mark Evans just squeezing past Tony Gould in 22nd place as they go up the mountain. Richard Rice leading the way and starting to pull away somewhat now at the top of the hill. Number 2, your race leader, John Robinson, second place with 161. Mark Evans in third. And Simon Gates holding on to fourth. And here we see how the battle's starting to develop. There's the race leader, Richard Rice, starting to close up on a couple of extra tail enders. And Mark Evans starting to put the pressure on John Robinson now for second place. They go into Devil's Elbow. Closing up on the back markers, and crucially, Richard Rice is now clear of the tail enders with 1 lap to go. And here we see it's getting bunched up behind the back markers as they thread their way through past, I think that was Stephen Watkiss, number 139. And oh, it's a log jam out to the first corner. They go up the hill, 4 riders all together. And the 3 leading group riders lap the tail enders, and they're all clear now. So who's going to emerge in second place? And it's Simon Gates. So 172, Simon Gates makes the most of the tail enders and jumps from 4th to 2nd on the final lap. Although Mark Evans, 161. Tries to fight back through Carousel for the final time. Richard Rice is clear in front now. He leads by 1.8 seconds. And Richard Rice coming down towards Devil's Elbow for the final time. It's been a good ride so far for Richard Rice, and he will take the checkered flag. So race win for Richard Rice. Who's going to take second place? Simon Gates holds on to second from Mark Evans. John Robinson, very close pit bike bets race.